HIA.
Pull that mic real close to you, okay?
Wakethia Brock, WYKETHIA, BROCK.
And Ms. Brock, good morning.
Good morning.
Where are you from?
Atlanta.
Okay. And were you born and raised here?
Yes.
All right. And do you work?
Yes.
What type of work do you do?
I'm a manager.
And in 2015, where did you live?
Oakland City.
Oakland City?
Yes.
And what was your address in 2015 in Oakland City?
878 Oakland City. Oakland Drive.
All right. And how long did you live at that residence?
Like 8 years.
And so in 2015, you had lived there for 8 years?
I guess, yeah.
All right. And do you have any siblings?
Yes.
How many?
It's 10 of us.
10. I want to specifically ask you about 2. Do you know someone by the name of Kenneth Copeland?
Yes.
Is that one of your siblings?
Yes.
And do you also know someone by the name of Rontrez Brock?
Yes.
Is he one of your siblings?
Yes.
Between the 3 of you, who's oldest?
Rontrez.
All right. And then who's next?
Me.
And then is Kenneth younger than both of you?
Yes.
Right. Back in 2015, did Kenneth ever live with you or stay with you at your home on 878 Oakland Drive?
Yes.
All right. How often would he stay at that home?
Whenever.
Did you say whenever?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to show you what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 1 Triple D.
It'll come up on that screen right in front of you if you don't want to have to strain your neck.
Do you recognize what's in State's Exhibit 1 Triple D?
Yes.
How do you recognize what's in State's Exhibit 1 Triple D?
That's where I stayed.
It is at the house at 878 Oakland Drive.
Yes.
Now, Rontrez Brock, did he ever live at that home with you and Kenneth?
Yes.
All right. And in 2015, did Rontrez have another address where he was living?
I don't remember.
Did he ever live off of Maury Avenue?
Yes.
Okay. And is that the Village at Carver Homes?
Mhm.
Is that a yes for me?
Yes.
And do you know while Rontrez was living at the Village at Carver Homes, was Kenneth Copeland ever stay with him at that location sometimes?
Yes.
And back in 2015, do you recall if your brother Rontrez had a vehicle?
I guess, yeah.
Specifically,
Ma'am, I'm going to need you to just pull the whole mic closer to you. It moves. Like, pull the base of it closer to you.
specifically, do you remember if he ever had a white Dodge Charger?
Yes.
Now, I want to direct your attention to January 13th, 2015. Did you ever have the occasion to call the police to come to your home?
I did.
Why did you have to call the police to come to your house?
Because I got a threat on Instagram.
Okay. And once you got the threat on Instagram, was there else at your home?
Say it again?
You got a threat on Instagram. Was there anything else? Was there any other reason why you called the police?
No.
Right. Did you ever have any damage to your home
When? Before or after?
after receiving the threat?
Okay, make it make sense. Wait.
Sure. Let me ask you this. Did you ever have your home shot with bullets?
Yes.
Okay. And was that around the same time you received this threat?
That was after I got locked up.
When did you get locked up?
After I called the police.
Okay, so you got a threat,
Mhm.
got locked up, and then you called the police?
I got a threat. I called the police. They escorted me to my grandma's house. They called me back out and locked me up.
Okay. Once you were locked up, did you ever come home and found that your home was had been shot at or shot up?
Yes.
All right. How long between the time you got locked up and the time you got home? Do you remember how many days that was?
It was the same day.
The same day.
Mhm.
Okay. When you got home, what did you find? What do you remember seeing when you came home and saw that your home had been shot up?
Bullet holes. Bullet holes.
And did you know who had shot up your home?
No.
And when the police came out to the location, did you give that information to the police that you came home and your home had been shot up?
Yes.
And prior to you going to jail, had your home been shot up?
No.
Had anything like that ever happened to your house while you were living there those
No.
8 years? I'm going to show you a few other pictures. I'm going to show you what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 3 Triple D. Were you out there when the police took any of these pictures?
No.
All right. I'm going to show you 15 Triple D. I'm going to show you 19 Triple D. 23 Triple D. 24 Triple D. 28 Triple D. And 29 Triple D. Was that the holes and the damage that you found to your home when you came home after being released from jail back in January 2015?
Yes.
Okay. And is that everything that you showed the police back when you called the police to report that this occurred at your house?
Yes.
All right. Of course. And let me ask you this. Were you locked up for calling the police or were you locked up for something else?
Something else.
Okay. And what was that?
A fade up here.
All right. I have no further questions.
Any
you.
defense attorneys?
No questions.
None? Okay. All right, Ms. Brock, thank you for your time, and you are excused. Call your next witness.
Right, at this time, the state's going to call Mr. Emmett Yarborough to the stand.
Yes. And what do you do for work?
Work for the Department of Public Works.
And how long have you worked in that capacity?
I've been there three months.
Okay, specifically, what's your job?
I empty trash cans for the city.
And where do you live?
Outside the city right now.
Okay. And was there ever a time that you lived inside the city?
Yes,
And when you say the city, what city are you referencing?
Atlanta.
And do you recall residing at an address of 88 Venera Avenue, Southeast Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes,
And in what county is that address located?
Fulton.
And from what time frame did you live there?
I say like from 2010 to 2015.
And did you live with anyone at that address, or did you live there alone?
You know, me and my wife,
Okay. And what is your wife's name?
April Quarterman.
I'm sorry, you said the last name?
April Quarterman.
Okay. And how long have you been married?
8 years,
How long have you been together?
25.
And do you all share any children in common?
No, just stepkids.
Okay. And what's the names of your stepchildren?
David Quarterman, DeAnthony Quarterman, Deshaun Quarterman.
Is Deshaun a girl or a boy?
A girl.
And I'm going to direct your attention, just a brief moment. I'm going to direct your attention to the date of January 11th, 2015. Do you remember that date?
Yes.
And can you describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you remember about that date in brief?
It's depending on what you talking.
Sure. Do you recall law enforcement coming out to your home on that morning?
Yes,
What do you recall about them having to come to your home on that morning for?
my house was shot up.
All right. Want to unpack some of that. Around or about what time would you say, Mr. Yarbrough, was your home shot up?
Anywhere between 11:45, 12 o'clock that night.
And what were you doing at that time when your home was shot up?
I was asleep.
Okay. And in the home that you're describing, about how many bedrooms are therein?
That was three bedroom. It was a 3-bedroom house.
And was anyone else home at the time that it was shot up, as you described?
No, I was the only one there.
Okay. And when you were asleep and you heard the shots, well, let me ask this question. Did you hear the shots ring out that impacted your home?
Yes, that what woke me up.
Okay. And when you heard the shots that hit your home, what, if anything, did you do at that time?
I hit the floor once I realized it was gunshots.
And were these gunshots shots that were single fire shots, or did they sound like a machine gun?
No, it was a machine gun.
All right. And when you say machine gun, are you saying that it sounded like they were in rapid succession?
They were shooting an AK-47.
And where was your wife at the time that the shooting occurred?
She was at my sister's birthday party.
Were you supposed to be there that evening?
Yes,
And why did you choose not to go?
I wasn't feeling good. I had a headache.
When the shooting was occurring at your home, about how long did it last?
Probably about anywhere between 2 to 3 minutes.
And when the shooting, after the shooting occurred, I should say, did you happen to see anybody?
No,
Did you hear anybody?
no, I did not.
What was the next thing that you did after hearing the shots?
I called 911, then I called my wife.
Okay. And did you call any of your stepchildren?
No,
And what did you tell your wife?
that our house was just shot up.
And did she come to the home? Do you recall if she came to the home after receiving that call?
Yes, she came immediately.
Did anyone else come to the home after that news had been delivered?
Yeah, I had several relatives pull up. Then our kids started pulling up.
Okay. Was Deshaun Quarterman amongst the children that came to the home that evening?
Not at first, we were still trying to locate her.
And why were you trying to locate her?
Because we had got word that it was a threat on her life.
Objection to the hearsay.
Sustained.
Without saying what anybody said, why were you looking for your stepdaughter at that time?
We were trying to make sure all our kids were safe.
Your Honor, that does not call.
Overruled.
You may answer the question.
We were trying to make sure all our kids were safe because our house was just shot up for no reason.
Was there a time that Deshaun lived at that home located at 88 Venera Avenue, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia?
Yeah, she stayed there until she graduated high school in 2011 before she went off to college.
Okay. Would she stay there? Would she stay there or spend the night at different times during that time frame after she had graduated?
Now she had got her own apartment.
And around what side of town did she stay on?
Over there off of, by Carver Home,
Okay. And what side of town do you know that to be?
the west side.
Okay. And do you know, can you describe what relationship, well, let me ask this question. Do you know a person by the name of Kenneth Copeland, aka Lil Woody.
Yes.
How do you know Lil Woody?
He has a child by Deshaun, which is my granddaughter.
And how old is that child?
She's 10. She turned 10 this year.
And were there ever times where Deshaun and Lil Woody would be over your home together?
Yes.
Would how often would you say that Lil Woody would be present at your home?
It wasn't often because I actually didn't want a lot of people at my house.
Okay. Was there any particular reason? Let me rephrase. Did you have a problem with Woody being at your home?
I had a problem because I had a daughter who had a boyfriend who wanted to spend the night with her, and I wasn't going to allow that.
That's fair. That's fair. Did you have any other reason to not want her, to not want Woody near your home?
Objection to relevance.
Overruled.
Could I answer that question?
Yes, you can.
Being a parent and knowing that he was a street guy, nobody want their daughter talking to a street guy. Basically, bottom line.
Okay. And I hear you say something about being a street guy. What do you have in mind when you say that?
Woody was in the streets.
Okay. When you say in the streets, is it fair to say that you are articulating that he was around people you didn't like?
I didn't know too much know anybody that he hung with, but it's just the things that you heard that he did in the street.
Okay. Just a indulgence, Sean. When the gunfire hit your home, were you impacted by any of the shots?
No, was I hurt?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Do you know anyone else in the community or nearby area to have been hurt or their home affected by the gunfire?
Close the hearsay objection.
Rephrase.
Did you see anyone else in the community injured?
No.
Did you see anyone else's home impacted by gunfire?
No, I did not see it.
Did you see anyone else's vehicles impacted by the gunfire that rang out that morning?
No.
How long did your daughter, Deshaun Quarterman, date Lil Woody?
I think they wind up separating probably like a couple of months after the baby was born because he was in and out of jail.
I'm sorry, you said after the...
They broke up a couple of months after their baby was born.
Okay. Sorry. And do you know if they ever resumed their relationship after that initial breakup?
No, they were just friends.
Okay. And I want to circle back to something you said earlier when you testified about initially hearing the shots. How do you know that the shots were an AK-47?
I'm from the projects. I know what an AK-47 sound like.
Okay. And is it fair to say that you've heard it shot on more than one occasion?
Because once again, I'm from the projects.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And how do you know, I'm going to circle back to something you said earlier. How do you know that Lil Woody was in the streets, as you say?
He was from McKinneyville.
Okay.
As everybody know, and 30 Deep was from McKinneyville.
Do you know Lil Woody to be a part of 30 Deep at that time? Did you know him to be a part of 30 Deep?
No, I did not. I just know they reside in McKinneyville.
And when you say 30 Deep, what do you know that to be?
It was a gang. It was a group of guys that went around running in stores, running out with blue jeans.
You started to say something and it sounded like you hesitated. Were you about to say, what were you about to say?
About what?
About 30 Deep, when you said it was a group and then you hesitated. What were you about to say?
It was a group of guys that ran in and out of stores stealing blue jeans.
Is it fair to call that group of guys that do what you just described a gang?
Sustained.
All right. Don't answer that, please. Do you have personal knowledge that Lil Woody was a part of 30 Deep?
No, I do not.
Okay. When Deshaun and Lil Woody ended up breaking up, did they continue a co-parenting relationship that worked?
As long as he was out of jail.
Okay. Did you know the group that you described Lil Woody to be around ever to be known as the Blue Jean Bandits?
I think the media gave him that name.
Sustained.
Do you know the name of Blue Jean Bandits?
Sustained.
Just a brief moment. Your Honor, may we approach?
I'm sorry, what you
May we approach, Your Honor, on the last ruling briefly?
You may.
Have you heard of a person by the name of Demise McMullen, or AKA Nard?
I heard of Bernard.
Okay. And have you ever seen him around the area of 88 Venera Avenue?
Your Honor, I'm going to probably need some clarification as to when witnesses, because he knows
Sustained.
Enor.
Do you understand? the
I do
objection?
understand.
Okay.
How do you know Nard?
I couldn't hear you.
That's not the objection, and that doesn't address the issue. The issue would be whether or not the person he knows as Nard is the other
Okay.
name mentioned by the prosecutor.
All right. I'll ask you a foundational question, Your Honor.
All right.
All right. Do you know the Nard that you're speaking of to be one of the defendants in this case?
No,
Is that a no, you don't know for certain, or is that a no, that is not the person you're talking about?
that is not the person I'm talking about.
Okay. Just a brief indulgence, Your Honor. No further questions for this witness.
Thank you. Are there defense questions for this witness?
No questions, Your Honor.
No. All right. Mr. Yarborough, thank you for your time. You are excused. Call your next witness.
State House Janice Merriweather.
Good morning, Ms. Merriweather.
Good morning.
Do you have a son by the name of, do you have a son by the, did you have a son by the name of Kenneth Hurst, aka Kenny Boo?
Yes,
Okay. And did Mr. Hurst have any children prior to his passing?
yes,
How many children did he have?
6.
And do you have any other children?
No, those are my only son.
Do you have any daughters?
Adopted daughters, yes.
All right. Do you have any more grandchildren?
No.
Okay.
I have 2 great grands.
Okay. And was there a time that you resided at 193 Hendricks Avenue?
Yes,
And just a brief moment, Your Honor. Do you know Waikithia Brock?
yes.
And who is that to you?
My grandkids' mother,
Okay. And how many grandchildren did she give you?
4.
And what is her relationship to Kenneth Hurst?
Was his girlfriend.
Okay. And I want to ask you a few questions, Ms. Merriweather. Do you recall your home being shot up on January 12th, 2015?
I don't recall.
Do you recall law enforcement coming out that day in reference to such activity?
Like I said, I can't remember. The only time I remember was 2015.
Yes, that's the date I just referenced, January 12th, 2015.
That might have been it.
Okay. It's fair to say it's been a while since that
Yeah.
date. Yes, ma'am. And on that day of January 12th, 2015, what were you doing when your house was shot up?
In the bed.
Were you asleep?
Yes,
And was it early morning?
yes.
And at the time that you heard the shots ring out and hit your home, what, if anything, did you do at that time?
Got on the floor.
And was anyone else home with you at that time?
Yes.
Who was with you at home?
Charlisa Gaines, Lucille Moore, and Charlisa Kids.
Who is Charlisa Gaines?
My adopted daughter.
Okay. And who is Lucille Moore?
My mother.
And do you recall about how long the shots rang out?
How long did they?
Yes, ma'am.
Say that again.
Yes, ma'am. Did the shooting last a long time or a short time?
It lasted a pretty long time to shoot up my house.
Yes, ma'am. Which of your grandchildren were there at that time?
He was a baby Cam.
And was there a time during that, before or after that shooting, that Charlisa came to the home, if you recall?
Charlisa came to the home. I think it was before the shooting. I'm not. I think it was before the shooting.
Did she come after the shooting occurred to pick up her children?
No. Was it before or after? It had to be before the shooting. because he had to get on the floor too.
And when, after the shots were fired, do you know who called the law enforcement?
I called him then.
And did they respond to your home? Did they come?
Yeah, they came.
And
I don't know what time it was, but they came.
do you recall if the shot sounded like a handgun or
Mm-mm.
a bigger gun?
A bigger gun,
When you say a bigger gun, do you say does it sound like it went in rapid succession?
you know, like that.
Was anyone hurt as a result of the shooting?
Mm-mm, no, nothing but my house,
And when you say your house, what property outside of the structure of the home was affected?
my windows,
Okay.
my furniture, my dining room, my TVs, my washroom, bedroom.
Right. Do you recall your home being shot up a second time on Do you recall if on February 10th, 2015, if there was anyone, excuse me, I'll rephrase. Do you recall on February 10th, 2015, if law enforcement came to your house that second time?
Back of my house.
And prior to these first and second shootings of your home at 193 Hendricks Avenue, had anything like that ever happened at your home before?
No,
Do you know who would have done such a thing to your home?
no, I don't.
Was anyone present inside your home? I know you said you were gone, but was anyone else present inside your home on February 10th, 2015, when the second shooting occurred?
I don't know because I wasn't there.
Just a few questions. A few more questions for you, Mrs. Merriweather.
Mhm.
How long have you lived at the location that we're talking about, your home?
Ever since 1993.
I am now marking for identification purposes. State's Exhibit 200 DDD. And I am approaching the witness with the same information.
Amen.
I am showing you now, Ms. Merriweather, State's Exhibit 200 Delta Delta Delta. What is it that you're looking at in this exhibit?
Pool table.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
sure.
Pool table.
Your Honor, at this point. Look at that. Sure. Been shown already to the fans prior and shown again today, which which is identified already as State's Exhibit 200 Delta Delta Delta. And before departing from you, Mrs. Merriweather, you stated that this is a pool table.
Mhm.
And is this pool table the one that you stated that used to be in the back of your home depicted in State's Exhibit 200 Delta Delta Delta?
Mhm.
And do you see any persons in State's 200 Delta 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 that you can identify by name?
Can I hold it?
Yes, ma'am. All right.
My son Kenneth Hurst.
Okay. Do you see anyone else in this photo
I
that
don't
you
know the rest of
recognize?
those.
Is it common? Was it? And let me ask this question: does this picture fairly and accurately represent the back of your home as you remember it to be when the pool table was there?
Mhm.
Your Honor, at this time, the state now moves to admit into evidence State's Exhibit 200 Delta Delta Delta.
It's admitted.
I'm going to leave this here with you and just ask you a few more questions. How often, if you can recall, would your son be in the back playing pool?
Your Honor, I'm going to object as to relevance.
It's relevant, Your Honor. It's relevant, Your Honor. It's hopefully the state's hope is that it will be developed with the questions that follow.
I'll give you a couple of questions to establish that.
All right.
Go ahead.
Just a brief moment, Your Honor. Miss Merriweather, did you post this picture that has been depicted as State's Exhibit 200 Delta 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 to social media?
No, I don't know nothing about no social media.
All right. Just a few more questions, Miss Merriweather. Do you know a person by the name of Kenneth Copeland, also known as Lil Woody?
Yes,
How do you know him?
my grandkid uncle.
Okay. There was someone that brought you in the courtroom today and helped assist you to get positioned where you're currently seated. Is that the same person that you're talking about named Lil Woody?
Yeah,
Okay. And how long have you known Lil Woody?
it's been a while.
Has he ever been over your home?
Yeah, he used to come now.
Okay. Does he still come?
No.
Okay.
My son ain't that what he gonna come for?
All right. And Mrs. Merriweather, lastly, does this conclude your involvement with this particular case?
Do what now?
Is that all that you have to offer the jury at this time?
That's all I know. My son was killed. That's all I know.
I understand. Thank you so much. No further questions. Your
Mhm.
Honor.
Are there defense questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Yes.
No questions, but I would like to.
Okay. Do I need to keep the witness? Okay. Ms. Merriweather, thank you for your time and you
Uh-huh.
are excused. And y'all can approach.
Did you see people outside?
No, not that I recall.
Were you the first responder?
Yes.
And who resided at that address? If you know.
There was only a male there when I got there.
Do you recall if his name was Emmett Yarbrough?
I don't recall that, but I mean that's what was in the report, so that would have had to be the name he gave.
And do you recall what is located at the address? Is it a home, commercial building?
A house.
And do you recall his demeanor?
I don't. I mean, he seemed like kind of maybe nervous or scared. I mean, his house had just got shot up.
Okay. And was he injured at all?
No.
Did you check the area to see if any other homes were affected by any gunfire?
Once backup arrived, we did walk up and down the street to make sure there were no other houses or people hit.